Good morning, everyone. So, as of today, I weigh 158 pounds. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Margie, and I started out December 26th, 2024 at 318 pounds. And now, as I just said, I weigh 158 pounds. I am literally less than half the woman I used to be. So my point is not to gush about that, although I'm, obviously very happy. Never thought I would see the 150s, but I do now. And I'm basically in maintenance mode, but hoping to, get a few more pounds cushion. So if I get 1 pound more cushion, 2, 3 more pounds cushion, I'm all good with that. But basically, what I really want to talk about today is the time to lose weight is now. The someday I'll has to stop. Well, I have to get this all together. I have to get that all together. I have to come up with some major plan. I have to, no, not really. I mean, sure. I mean, if you want to work with a health coach or have a certain program or whatever, you might have to work that out. But you can always get started. You know how I started? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I started very simply. I simply removed ultra-processed foods from my house. I said, it's not worth it. These aren't that great, and they're making me unhappy. The amount of uncomfortableness I'm going to have with not having those anymore, well, they're removed from my house. And I know that people say, well, I have to cook for someone else. I have other people in the house. Well, maybe they love you enough to, eat better quality food with you or have it outside the house. As I talked about in my other video, you go out, you can make good choices. At a lot of restaurants, there are good choices you can make. Don't have to make the poor choices. I promise you, there are lots of a la carte choices. There are lots of things that are going to work in that whole and minimally processed and, lightly processed realm. But why? Why is that important? Why, Whole Foods, that sounds weird, dry broccoli and dried up chicken breast and dry old, maybe some rice or a potato with nothing on it. No. Balanced diet, guys. Have a little bit of fat. Enjoy it. But a lot of people they just can't think of the great foods that are whole foods. Think about the finest restaurants out there. You think they're buying all ultra processed? I'm not saying they're perfect about everything, but I worked in a fine dining restaurant. It's mostly whole and minimally processed foods. Make their own sauces, make their own whatever. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. There are conveniences that are still very good choices. I mean, hey, what's simpler than, going to the grocery store and buying a Faya yogurt that's got some fruit in it or some honey or something like that? Absolutely perfect choice? Maybe not, but we're not about perfection. We're about doing the best we can. They're good choices. Have some fruit. Wash some fruit. That's super easy. Have some cottage cheese. Have some, if you like jam with it or fruit with it or whatever, or you're like me, I like mine savory. But hey, it's not all about, whatever your thing is. Saute up some chicken breast. Take that versus, the breaded tenders, and boy, the lack of nutrient denseness in a lot of ultra-processed foods are appalling. You get the nutrients you need, your body's like, oh, I feel good. And you don't feel like eating as much. Now, yeah, it's possible to overeat on whole foods. So, eventually get to the point of maybe using a tracker so you can understand. But we know the fat's going to add a lot. Have some fat, but, kind of keep it down. Avocados are lovely, but 2 avocados a day, maybe not so much, not even 1. Half avocado? Sure. Have a little olive oil, have the better fats. Have real ingredients. They cook up super fast, take 5-10 minutes to put together. A lot less expensive than going out, a lot better for you, less salt in it. And I'm not saying don't eat salt, but don't need to overdo the salt, right? But the main thing is to start eating whole and minimally processed foods. Get rid of the ultra processed foods. It's just, if they are in the house, don't eat them. Put them away, get them out of your sight. Make sure that the rule is, I don't want to see these. And after a while, you're going to start to prefer the whole and minimally processed foods, and you're not going to overeat to the extent that you do, that any of us do, with ultra processed foods. I'll mention the study again, the Kevin Hall study. I think it was 2018, where they had participants who were all around 27 BMI, so they were just slightly overweight, not really, they were stable weight, and they were all around 31 years of age. And they fed them a diet of ultra-processed foods for 2 weeks, and then a diet of whole and minimally processed, unprocessed, so to speak, foods for 2 weeks. Well, they found out that on average, those on the 2 weeks that they ate ultra-processed, they ate 508 calories more each day. And they ate far less than that on the other day. Well, obviously, they weighed 508 calories less than the other way, obviously. But they gained 0.9 pounds eating the ultra-processed foods in 2 weeks, and they lost 0.9 pounds eating the whole and minimally processed or the unprocessed foods. You see what I'm saying? It's just simply by doing that as a start makes a huge difference. And by the way, the energy is much better. Your ATP production, which I will someday get into that, and it's not, I won't give you a boring scientific lecture about it, that's for sure. I'll make it real easy. But basically, it's energy production. It's not calories that give you the energy. It's how it converts to ATP, gives you oxygen in your cells. And it's not, some foods don't do as well as others. So, yeah, that's why you'll have better energy. I found my digestive system was so much better off. Things slowed down a little bit, not too much, a little bit in my digestive tract, and I felt more satisfied. So you can start somewhere. And without having the perfect program. It's not about being perfect. It's about doing the right thing, eating whole and minimally processed 80-90% of the time, and it's a good start. It's a really good start. Eventually, honing in on it, yeah, obviously. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say was, you don't have to be heavy for the rest of your life. I've been heavy all my life until recently. And you know what? A lot of times I get done with losing some weight and I'm like, I just can't wait to go back. I want to make sure I definitely get a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. And I'm like, I'm good, because I don't eat all completely clean 100% of the time. It's 80-90% of the time. So I get to have my cheat meal. I get to have little treats occasionally, but just occasionally. I enjoy my coffee in the morning with the honey and the milk. I enjoy fruit. I enjoy having a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I enjoy having my pasta with peas and olive oil and some lovely seasonings, maybe some scallions or shallots, things like that. So, I eat way more than that, okay? I eat chicken. I eat hamburgers, hamburger patties, hamburgers. I'm careful what kind of bread I use. I have avocado toast. I have, I have my blueberries with yogurt and some jam. I'll have occasional natural soda, or Mexican Coke kind of thing, occasionally, not all the time. And I keep it to things that are mostly a lot healthier, better choices. And sometimes I don't. And so that's really what I have to say. The time is now. There's no excuse. You can do it now if you have a good reason why. You'll feel so much better. The pain you think you're going to have from changing is nothing like the pain of staying the way you are if you really don't like the way you are. You will have a great day. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Bye-bye.